have been apparently reluctant to look into in terms of deducting from South Africa from the World Cup qualifiers. There's breaking news as far as that's concerned. Kaizer Chiefs' coach in Nazreedim, Nabi. What is going on there? Well, we're going to be speaking to one of the top journalists in the game to get a sense of, is he left the club? Is he still with the club? What is going on? What's the reason for the upheaval at Kaizer Chiefs between coach Nazreedim, Nabi and Kaizer Chiefs? And then there is so much more to talk about later on in the show. So let me introduce them to you. Here are the wise men of African football. First and foremost, it is the wisest of the wise, the assassin of Abidjan, the man out of Cote d'Ivoire. It is Mamadou Gay. Mamadou, a lot has happened this last week. Is there something that caught your eye? Is there something that's bothering you? Is there something that you're boiling about?
It's about the 3 most poisonous points in football. 3 most poisonous points in football.
Why are they poisonous?
Nigeria, South Africa. The noise would not stop about those 3 points.
Well, things are going to happen now.
Now it's going to happen. While Nigeria was making noise, South Africa making noise, they drew. Now FIFA is looking into the matter.
We'll talk about it later on. Poisonous 3 points is what Mamadou is calling them. Let us know what you think on Soccer Africa. Hashtag Soccer Africa 1000 in the middle. It's our football strategist in Coach Sudesh Singh. And Coach, I saw you when I arrived looking at under-17 football. What's the latest and what's going on?
Yeah, you know, the COSAFA under-17 is happening in Zimbabwe. And today South Africa played Comoros. They won 6-0. 6-0.
Yeah.
So they're in the final against Angola this weekend.
So that's good for Southern African football. Once again, South Africa doing the business. Speaking of South Africa, at the far post, it's the award-winning journalist Thomas Squadahite, the founder member, one of the wisest of the wise, and TK.
Yeah.
The FIFA rankings. They came in today, and you were smiling from ear to ear.
Of course.
Just because of rankings.
I'm telling you, listen, you know, when all the clubs qualify for the World Cup, FIFA look at the ranking. And then those that are the big boys, they get seeded much easier. So South Africa has jumped into the top 10. They are, you know, boxing among the big boys.
Now number 9 on the African continent are South Africa. I think Nigeria in 6th position right now. They've dropped, so the gap is closing between South Africa and Nigeria.
Very much so.
Number 1 on the African continent
Morocco.
is Morocco. They're 11 in the world, guys.
Don't forget the
let's not
African
just talk about in
champions.
Africa. They're 11 in the world.
The African champions are there also,
In the top 5.
Yeah.
Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire
The
there.
top 5.
Second is Senegal.
Interesting, though.
Yes.
The biggest drop in the world of a nation in the latest rankings, Zimbabwe. They've gone down 9 places, TK, which is maybe good news, right? Like, I mean, you look at that, you think, tasty right now, because these 3 points are floating, and you want to be playing a team that's not going up the rankings, but going backwards. And who do Bafana have next in the next round of World Cup qualifiers?
Zimbabwe.
So now, confidence is growing.
It is. I think South Africa should look at Zimbabwe, but stay humble and do not underestimate Zimbabwe. And they must just go out there like their lives depend on the results out of that game.
South Africa now number 55 in the world. And if you're wondering why, what happened? I mean, what was so spectacular about South Africa that they can jump into the top 10, now be at number 9, 55 in the world? The reason is 16 games unbeaten. 16 games unbeaten. We don't know the taste. What does defeat taste like, Mamadou? We don't know the taste here in South.
You say 16 what?
16 matches. Unbeaten.
Where are the medals? Where are the trophies?
Come in.
What's your point?
Well, when you win, we want to see a medal or a trophy.
It's coming. AFCON is in December.
Don't tell me about how many games you won.
AFCON is coming.
I want to see the gold medal or the trophy.
December, January, you will see.
Then at that time we can.
Okay, but if you want to talk about medals, we have bronze medals. We have bronze medals from the last AFCON.
We recognize gold. We only recognize gold.
You said you want medals.
You said you want
We
medals.
recognize gold.
There
is medals, there is medals, there is medals.
No one remembers 2 or 3.
Gold.
Only one team can get
Don't you
gold.
watch the athletics?
I've been watching the World Champs.
You
Yeah,
watching the World Cup?
exciting.
It's an
When
unbelievable.
Botswana made number 1 and number 3, it was only one national anthem. Botswana, Botswana, Botswana. Now there is no second national anthem.
All right, I tried. However, let's go into this conversation that's breaking around South Africa right now, and maybe in Tunisia they're discussing it as well. And that is around the conversation that is happening with Coach Nazreedim Nabi. What do we know right now? What is actually happening? TK, you're the journalist. Let me come to you. Give me a sense of what happened, because it just blew up. Suddenly, everyone's social media, Twitter, and Nabi everywhere.
Kaizer Chiefs left the country to go and play in the Confederation Cup against Kabuskor in Angola.
Today, they left.
Yeah.
Today they left, but Nazreedim Nabi, the head coach, stayed behind.
Not on the plane.
He is not on the plane that has all the Kaizer Chiefs players, technical team, and management, the HOD. Nazreedim Nabi stayed behind. And that is a little bit strange. But when you look at it, I think CAF has made it clear that only coaches that have CAF A license will be allowed to sit on the bench. And it is alleged that Nazreedim Nabi does not have a CAF A license. However, he does have a UEFA
Pro license,
which might be recognized in South Africa by the PSL Betway, that the PSL says coaches with a UEFA Pro license can sit on the bench. However, SAFA insists that only coaches who have a CAF A license will be allowed to sit on the bench.
What about the Sundown coach?
Clearly, he has the right qualification.
Yeah, the process is UEFA Pro license.
But is it about qualification? Is this problem between Kaizer Chiefs and Nabi, is it about qualifications?
Do you think it's something else?
I don't know.
I don't believe it.
I don't believe
qualification. This guy was supposed to be fired since last year. Long time ago.
For what?
For poor performance.
To me, Thomas,
Very poor performance.
You talk about medals. You see, this is where Mamadou gets himself in. He talks about medals. He talks about, show me something. Nabi can show he won the Nedbank Cup. Kaizer Chiefs has not won a trophy for 10 years. Now he brings a trophy. Now, a few months later, you want to say the guy must go, and he should have gone long ago.
We saw how he won the Nedbank Cup.
How?
With all the controversies around.
What controversy?
I don't go there. It was there. It was discussed thoroughly. And a coach coming to Kaizer Chiefs, to Pirate, to Sundown, it is not to play 3-4 games and win a cup. It's to be champion of South Africa.
But they haven't done that in forever.
Exactly. So, that's why a great club like Kaizer Chiefs,
but they were building
with the biggest number of followers. Every year you battling relegation.
Mamadou, the numbers say cup last season. They say this season they were what, 5 games without even conceding a goal. They were right there in the top 2 of the league.
What was their position in the league?
They've been 1 and 2 in the league.
No, what was their final position in the league?
When?
Kaizer Chiefs.
Last season.
Yes.
They didn't make it into the top 8.
Then that closed the debate.
Why?
Pirate just collected 10 million rand now. Now you're talking us of Nabi. He cannot win the league.
Okay.
He cannot. No, you play 4 games.
I don't agree.
You say you won, and that he will win a cup. We expect him. When you come to Kaizer Chiefs, anybody...
The most prestigious cup, eh? I mean, it's the FA Cup of South African football. The Nedbank Cup's the FA Cup.
Any coach that come to Kaizer Chiefs must know that you are employed to win the league.
They were topping the league now.
No, to win the league.
Yeah, but maybe they can win at the end of the season. They were on the road.
Nabi did not win the league last year.
Yes.
He messed up. He could not even finish top 8. He was supposed to do the honorable thing to resign. This is Kaizer Chiefs.
There you go, Mamadou Gay, putting his perspective nice and clearly there. Thokozisi Dube, one of the top journalists in the game, is going to be joining us right now to give me a sense of what's going on and maybe fill in some of the blanks that are missing for us. Thor, welcome to Soccer Africa. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me, and greetings to the viewers.
All right, Thor, why is Nabi not on the plane? Why is he not part of the traveling party to Angola with Kaizer Chiefs for the CAF Confederations Cup this weekend?
Yeah, look, I think what has happened is that Kaizer Chiefs were not able to submit his UEFA Pro license for him to be able to sit on the bench for this particular game. And I think as a result, they then sat down with him and said because of the delay in him submitting it to them, they would then suspend him pending investigation into what exactly is happening with his qualifications. And when that letter of suspension was given to him, he then produced that license, and the conversation obviously then changed. So they then got into a conversation on the coach saying, look, there is a sense of a lack of trust between themselves. Maybe they should then have a discussion in terms of what the future holds for both of them. So at the moment there is discussion in terms of possibly terminating his contract and separating. So that conversation is ongoing as we speak.
But you're saying that at the center of it is this qualification issue, the license that allows you to sit on the bench for CAF games. Is that at the center of the issue?
Yes, that would be the issue, because Kaizer Chiefs obviously had to submit his UEFA Pro license as someone that would sit on the bench as their head coach. But because of the delay in receiving it, they couldn't do so. I think to a point where they then felt they have to look into the issue and see if
but he
it's
has
available.
According to all reports, he does have a valid UEFA Pro license.
He does. He holds the UEFA Pro license, which he first obtained in 2017. We've seen him during his time at Young Africans, sitting on the bench. I mean, going all the way to the CAF Confed final. We saw him also last year with the AS FAR Rabat of Morocco. Sitting on the bench as well. So he does have it. I've actually seen it. So yeah, I think it's now an issue of that discussion to say there is a lack of trust between the two parties, and they now need to conclude and terminate the contract.
Was the 3-1 defeat to Skokuni the other night? Is there any possible influence that defeat to Skokuni may have had in this conversation and the lack of trust that you're discussing, and the instability between Kaizer Chiefs and Coach Nabi?
Look, I think the timing obviously is quite interesting. I think the submission deadline would have been sometime in June, and for this conversation to now come to the fore now after a loss is quite interesting. The timing of the conversation is really interesting. It happens when they've lost their first game of the season, and you could sense, after that loss to Skokuna United, a bit of unhappiness from the fan base, and then this conversation happens, and there is that suspension, so to speak. So
what do you think will happen next? What do you think will happen next?
Pardon?
What do you think will happen next?
Look, I think it's that discussion, regarding the potential termination. You get the sense that the relationship is fractured beyond repair, and I think the discussion now is they obviously have to now terminate and go separate ways.
That's Thokozisi Dube giving us a sense and giving us what he understands the situation to be. Thank you, Tor. We appreciate your time.
always a joy.
What do you guys think?
Now, Thomas, the surprising thing, there hasn't been any official statement from Chiefs, as yet, you know. So it leaves so much space for speculation and stuff like that. There was even a report in a Tunisian publication that he had made comments, you know.
That he'd resigned.
So, yeah, that he needs to be...
A publication called Win-Win quotes Coach Nabi as having said that he's resigned from Kaizer Chiefs. And it also goes on to say that he'd been contacted and in conversation with Etoile du Sahel. But he says, according to Win-Win, Nabi saying like he doesn't want to go back and coach in Tunisia. It's not the right time for him to go back there. He's not interested in it.
Remember, his wife had been in an accident.
Yeah.
And that's why he had missed a few games. So he was quoted as saying he needs to be there close to her to take care of her.
You believe it? You think it's true?
I know they quote him in the publication. We all read it.
But do you believe it? I mean, do you think it's true?
You know, football, there's so many different stories that can come.
In terms of Win-Win putting out a statement that says, we have spoken to Nabi. Nabi is saying that he has resigned.
Yeah, I think I could believe that because I've also picked up rumors.
But no one else is picking that up in South Africa, TK.
Yeah, I hear you, you know, but what I'm saying is I've also picked up rumors that, you know, you heard Mthokozisi saying the relationship is fractured beyond repair. And I've picked up rumors that I think the Kaizer Chiefs management have not been happy about the fact that they won, I think, 4 or 5 games in a row with Nabi absent.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he came in, you know, I think they drew and then they lost the game. And then it's not the first time. There was a time when he was suspended and his deputies stood in and they won 2 games. He came in, took charge of the team, and then they lost. And so there's a little bit of unhappiness there. And little wonder Mthokozisi has just mentioned that, you know, and when you also pointed out that could the 3-1 loss to Sekhukhune have something to do with the current development? And for me, you know, I might be old school and counting with my toes and my fingers, but I put 2 and 2 together and it seems to make 4.
I mean, I'm going to read here, and you can find it on goal.com. You can find it pretty much anywhere on the internet when you look up Nabi, as well as this Win-Win article. And it says, my separation from Kaizer Chiefs was a mutual agreement with the club's management following a successful and challenging experience, Nabi told Win-Win. I mean, that's a pretty clear quote. And then he goes on further on to discuss some of the other things.
Successful. Didn't he make a mistake there?
Following a successful and challenging experience.
Successful.
Trophy. 10 years, no trophy.
Successful.
Under Nabi trophy, that's success.
1 trophy.
Guys,
come on.
How long was he there?
This is Kaizer Chiefs.
How long was he there?
Still, 2 seasons.
What I agree there, when he say he's busy negotiating with the club, I think Kaizer Chief must just play as Kaizer Chief. Give him a handout, he can go and look for a club. Just a mutual arrangement. Because Kaizer Chief doesn't need this unnecessary noise.
Yeah.
Just give him a good handshake and let him go and settle.
You act like there's a coach just here, waiting to take over.
But
I mean, now you've got to go and find
there is a
someone to step in.
The team.
But they have the 2 coaches who've taken over.
Assistants.
Yeah, they've done it before.
Assistant end up
But who's assistants? Who's assistants?
His assistants.
The ones that he brought.
Yes.
So why would they stay when he's leaving?
But they've done a good job. They were
but
when he was
saying, when you come with your assistants as a coach, do you not leave with your assistants?
It's
will
debatable.
Follow. But right now they are doing that.
They're doing a good job. Let them carry on.
They must be there until everybody is removed.
You know, you're a coach. Where's the loyalty? I mean, if you came with me and then I'm leaving,
you go together.
Staying. Where's the loyalty?
It's a bit of a double-edged sword.
Why is it double-edged?
Remember what happened at Galaxy? Ramovic left his guy here and the guy took over successfully. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword.
But what do you think? Should assistants stay when the coach that brought them?
It also depends on loyalty to the club. You know, if the club wants them to stay on, and the conditions are conducive.
No, I think it depends on the new coach that will come in. Every coach that comes in, come normally with his principle and his people.
If they appoint a new coach,
Yeah.
there is a possibility because they've done it before. As I said, the first 4 games, they won them back to back without even conceding a goal. So if Chiefs feel that the 2 assistants can take charge of the team, there's no need to appoint a new coach.
Thomas, I was at the game on Tuesday, and you can see there's something not right between Nabi and the players, you know. I don't think the players relate to him that much, but you look at the assistants, I think they have a better relationship with the players.
Even not only the players, Nabi, but the entire supporters. It's a love lost between Nabi and the supporters. How many times have we seen it after a Chief game? Security needed to come in.
It could be a language issue, you know,
Long
even with
ago,
the
that's
journalists.
long ago.
Yeah, but which long ago?
Long ago
It's still
story.
relevant, my friend.
Long ago story.
What long ago?
Very long ago story.
Ah.
All right, so let's just get a sense here
Yeah.
for our viewers at home. Is Nabi gone or is he going to stay with the dust that you see?
I think he's gone. Plain and simple.
Sudesh,
For me, from the start, he was the wrong coach for Chiefs.
so what does that mean in terms of the situation now?
He should rather stay away.
Do I even need to bother with asking?
No, don't.
He has already told me.
Yeah.
What do you guys think at home? Hashtag Soccer Africa 1000. Give us your views on the topic that's being discussed. So much still up in the air, so much still allegations, but the one thing that is absolutely confirmed, Coach Nabi did not travel with Kaizer Chiefs to Angola. And that is causing the whole world to speculate as to what is going to happen in terms of the future between the coach and the club. What are your views on that situation? Very, very interesting as far as that's concerned, guys. So let's move on, because we're now mentioning the fact that there's CAF Confederations Cup, there's CAF Champions League. So maybe let's get into that. Let's have a quick conversation around what's coming up, matches that we're looking forward to, the situation that's ahead with the exciting Continental Club competitions. They are back. The best in Africa are going to be competing against each other, and there are some fascinating matches to look forward to when it comes to that. So the Confed Cup looks like this, and jumping off the page straight away, you've got Yanga and Leopards there. Then you've also got the Kaizer Chiefs man, Kaburskop. What do you know about them? What do you know about the side out of Angola?
Quite a bit, Thomas. They're owned by a very rich general. Bondarenko once coached them, and even Costa Papic. This is the club that a few years ago brought Rivaldo to play just before he retired. And also Prati, Trezo Mputu, also played for Kabuskop.
Oh, yes.
They won the cup last year in Angola, Thomas, the FA Cup, but they finished 9th in the league. But it's great to see Kaizer Chiefs back in African
What
football.
can we expect from Asante Kotoko?
Oh, it's another great name to be back in.
Against
African
Kwara
football.
United. That's a West African derby.
Yeah.
And I think this is the biggest derby in this Confederation Cup.
Nigeria, Ghana.
Nigeria, Ghana. It cannot
Yeah.
be bigger than that.
There is
Yes.
there is young Africans from Namibia playing Royal Leopards from Eswatini in Botswana.
And then in the Champions League, this is what's coming up. Vipers, they're out of Uganda. They're coming to play in South Africa, incidentally, against African Stars out of Namibia, right?
Yep.
That match taking place in South Africa. Why?
Because the Namibians do not have facilities that are approved by both FIFA and CAF. So as a result, they have to come to, they have to select a country that could host them.
There's a double header happening in Botswana.
Yeah,
Alright.
there's Cameroon United versus Simba. And then there's Singizi Hotspurs.
No, Nsigizini Hotspurs are playing Simba Bora from Zimbabwe on
Bora.
Sunday. But on Saturday,
Young African from Namibia.
young Africans from Namibia are playing Royal Leopards from Eswatini on Saturday. And then there's Gaborone United playing against Simba also on Saturday at the same venue.
All in
All in
Francistown.
Francistown.
Yeah.
All in Francistown.
And the reason is obviously there isn't a facility that allows for that to happen in their own country, so they
Yes.
have to move it and play in Botswana, where the stadium is accredited by CAF.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Double header, that's a good value for money, right? Like
That's a
if you want to
double
watch
header,
football, head to Francistown.
Go to Botswana this weekend.
That's where
Two
I'm
for the
going.
price of one ticket.
Three games.
Three over the
two
one
on
weekend.
Saturday
3 games,
and one
yes.
on Sunday. Yeah.
That's
And then
where
I
I'm
think
going.
I saw Pirates as well. Pirates are playing in South Africa,
In Bloemfontein, yeah.
but they're away
To the Odi.
DOD.
from Lesotho.
Yes, because their stadium is not CAF approved also. So they got to play their home games in Bloemfontein.
I think CAF must just come once forever, ban all those type of club and national team. If an entire government of a country in Africa cannot have a proper stadium, what are you running? What are you doing? One stadium you cannot have. An entire country full of gold, diamond, mineral, you name it. No. Enough is enough. And I think that CAF must come harsh on them. They have money to do so many unnecessary things. This is for the youth. Sport is the youth of your country.
No, I think Mamadou is right, because you look at Cabo Scope, they got a small 12,000-seater stadium. Initially, the game was going to be at the National Stadium, but their stadium is very nice, modern, compact, and they got CAF approval to host Chiefs at their home ground. So why can't other clubs do that? You know, even if you have a 5,000-seater stadium, but bring it up to standards. You're not playing. You're not playing
money.
Yeah, but you're not playing national team games. You're playing club games.
It costs money.
Maybe what you need to do, Mamadou, you should perhaps encourage CAF to initiate negotiations with governments and tell them how much their lack of interest in improving
President
facilities.
Motsepe is doing it.
Yes.
That's part of his agenda. Everywhere, if you listen to him, everywhere he goes, the first thing is to beg governments to build infrastructure for the youth.
Also,
But
CAF.
now, in Africa, people don't listen. Unless you take punishment, then they start moving. If the national team are banned, the club are banned, why do you have game for your supporters? You come and play in my
There is
yard.
an option too.
Thomas, give CAF dues. They've also increased the appearance fee. Every club, even in the preliminary, will get $100,000 towards their logistics. So that is a huge increase
For the clubs.
from the CAF president
Yes.
into that, right to the bottom level. The second thing, this season's Champions League has a record 62 clubs. So you can see the prestige around the African competitions.
I want to go to one other option, right? So there's a problem with facilities. CAF has a standard which is maybe unattainable for a lot of the clubs that are having to play outside of the countries. Why not just drop the standard and say play with whatever you have? Because they're playing their league games there. Just play on what you have and let's go.
Never. You can never drop. Everybody must rise up. When you are in third
The league is
division,
being played on those fields in that country.
no,
They're playing on the league
you
there.
see, let me
But we
tell
need
you,
to
we are
improve.
African. We know ourselves. If you don't put fire, nothing will move.
But that's why we have home and away, right? We have home and away, and we have when we get to group stages and stuff, and we get to knockout stages of the tournaments. Away goals count double because we understand that sometimes it's not nice away. The field isn't great away. So if you can do the business there, you get
No, but Thomas,
get the
we
away
need to
advantage.
improve the game. Clubs need to invest in the facilities.
Yeah.
We need to professionalize the game. The games have been shown on TV, so you can't be playing in a cow patch or anything like that.
No, Thomas, the bottom line is, I was talking off now with Thier. I say why the game against Benin will be very dangerous. I say with Benin, the government will provide all the funding. They will pay for the private jet for the national team to fly anywhere. They will send first party to go and book the best hotel, pay the bonuses and everything from government money. which is not the case in
But where's
South
Benin
Africa.
playing their home games?
Doesn't matter
Where are
when
they playing their home
play.
games? Just answer my
No,
question.
they are playing in Cote d'Ivoire.
Okay,
in
so
Cote
all
d'Ivoire,
that-
let me tell
But that's
you.
national team.
Yes, they should be banned also, but doesn't mean that if they are taking care of their national team, we
But why
mustn't
not
say
spend that money to do the
no.
stadium?
But we are
What
not
are you
there.
implying?
What am I
Get to the
implying?
point.
If CAF take the decision, they must ban Benin.
No, about Benin.
Now,
Benin
my point
being
is
paid by the government.
The government
all
must
their
help.
game, they were in the 5-star hotel, the biggest in Abidjan, where CAF headquarters were
Wow.
during AFCON, the Sofitel. Everybody paid by the government. They drove a luxurious bus from Benin to Ivory Coast. Everybody flew in a private jet. Government paid the bonus of everybody involved there. How don't you win the game like that? Like your SAFA struggling to pay bonuses of
Unbeaten.
the girls,
16
of the
games.
girls, of the boys. Even,
But here, I think the government should help SAFA.
of course,
Because
that's
it's
what
a
I am
national
saying.
team. They're on national duty.
This is the World Cup. When you go to the World Cup, it's your national anthem.
Yes.
The government
You're
of
representing
Benin
your country.
understand that. But here, I am not sure if the Minister of Sport is willing to do so. Bankroll Bafana so that we make sure that Bafana goes to the World Cup.
No, Minister Gaten Mackenzie watches this show, I can assure you.
He must bankroll them.
No, he's
Because-
listening. He's listening.
Eh?
He's listening.
Because if
Rest
you
assured.
land in a country, you're struggling with hotel, you're struggling with match bonuses, your players
We're
are
playing all our
striking.
games at home, so there's nothing to prepare for.
Even
They
at
play
home,
here.
they
The next two
strike at
games are here in South
home.
Africa.
Hey, the strike at home is even worse.
It's time for a break. After the break, I mean, Mamadou's taken us to that topic around the World Cup qualifiers and that 3 points. Now, FIFA, it seems, and it's coming out officially out of SAFA now, have sent a letter to SAFA because last week we heard a lot of complaints coming out of Nigeria to say, we want the 3 points. Where are the 3 points? Well, it seems like FIFA heard, the letter has been sent. You want to know more about that? Stay with South Africa. A little bit in South Africa right now with the breaking news that FIFA have sent a letter to SAFA indicating that the disciplinary committee of FIFA will be investigating the fielding of Teboho Mokoena in that match against Lesotho when he should have not been on the field and was ineligible to play due to the fact that he had accumulated 2 yellow cards already in previous encounters. That's now headed to the disciplinary committee. Is that what you're hearing? Is that confirmed?
Hey, you know, last week I was mocking the Nigerians and saying they must put out their calculators. It seems like now we as South Africans have got to put out our calculators as well, because what I'm hearing is that FIFA has dispatched a letter to SAFA asking them to respond within 6 days. The reason why they fielded Teboho Mokoena in a match that you are supposed to serve.
The reason is easy.
Yeah.
Kanjani.
Eh? We didn't know.
How can you not know, Thomas?
We have a team manager.
We forgot.
We have a team manager.
National Association.
I mean, what reason are you to give?
Were you not taking notes during the game?
Eh?
Who's getting cards? Or are you waiting for... We know in PSL they're very professional. Every week they send out a list.
Yeah, but that's FIFA who sends out, right?
FIFA also does the same. But the owners must be also at SAFA. You have a team manager, you have people who do that. We should be doing that.
Did FIFA send?
Irrespective, Thomas. You have a team manager whose job is to do that.
Yeah, well,
And he
maybe the
didn't do
team
that.
manager is waiting for the thing from
Why
FIFA
wait?
to say,
But still.
oh, so-and-so is suspended.
No,
okay, I
Thomas.
see it now.
No,
There's no
Thomas.
excuse.
I think we've got to be honest
Yes.
enough
As patriotic as we are.
to admit that our team manager took his eyes off the ball.
Absolutely.
He dropped the ball, and that's no excuse. Our team manager was supposed to have noted down that Teboho...
Who is that team manager?
Vincent Zeka. I
And he's
think...
still there.
Yes, he's still at SAFA, yes.
Unfortunately. And Thomas, if you look at it, according to
But
FIFA
the
rules...
time, guys, okay, let's just think practically, right? I just want to... The first yellow card was against Benin in November.
Yes.
Then the second yellow card was in June of 2024. It's a long gap to have a memory to say, you know what?
What?
No.
From
What memory?
November 23,
But why
I
didn't you
remember
do
in
it?
June again.
Yes.
In November.
Bafana
keep
Bafana
records,
team
it's
manager
modern day.
doesn't have a laptop. Bafana team manager doesn't have a cell phone or a laptop.
I'm just saying that it's been a long gap. You know, it was that first card was early on, November 23. Then we get to June 24, second booking. It's
Irrespective.
easy to forget what happened in November.
Irrespective.
Why should you
Thomas,
forget if
I
you
think-
write in notes? And this is the only job you have to do. Irrespective if there's no games in between.
There is no computer at SAFA.
So
he
write in
doesn't
your
have
book.
an office.
Write on your
The
book.
team manager doesn't have an office.
Wow.
He doesn't have a computer. He doesn't have a laptop. He doesn't have a cell phone.
I think this is a very serious matter, in a sense that we like it or not. We've got to be realistic and admit that, as I said, there is no way, irrespective of the length of the periods in which the games were played. I think the team manager should, every game, note that such a player got a yellow card or a red card or whatever. You know, he is there to assist the technical team to say,
What
listen,
about if the team manager blame one of his superior?
who?
Superior.
Like who?
What's the calculator saying? What's the calculator saying now? Okay,
As-
Look
as-
at it.
I've been
Yes.
ready. I'm gonna tell you, I have
you
been
lose
ready
points.
ever since the news broke
Yes.
that Dewo Homokwena should not have played in that match against us. I've been ready for the fact that 3 points are leaving. I've never had any other thought than it's going. The 3
That's
points
the
are leaving.
current.
So when they leave, and I'm saying when,
Yes.
what's going to happen to the group? What's the situation in Group C? What's the
3
calculation?
points, 3 goals will go to Lesotho.
So Lesotho would
That
get
would change.
3 additional points and they
3
would
goals.
get 3 additional goals.
Plus, from that log that we saw, the 2 goals would come out and the 3 points to Lesotho. So this is what it would look like currently.
If people
if
come back
FIFA
and say, listen,
3
that
points.
match is now, that you won 2-0 against
Yes.
Lesotho, is now a 3-0 loss
Yes.
against Lesotho. This is what the group
This is
would
what
look
it will
like.
look like.
Alright.
It would
Going-
be Benin on top of the group. And remember, in these qualifiers, goal difference is the first
Yes.
thing that you look at. So
Yes.
the goal difference also favors Benin in that situation because the goal difference would change. They would go to +4, Bafana would go to +3.
Yes.
Correct, because the 2 goals that Bafana
So if we
scored
finished
against
on the same
Lesotho will
points,
be
we
taken.
would look at goal difference.
Going into the last 2 games next month.
If we finished on the same points, we would look at goal difference. If Benin were to win all their games, Bafana were to win the remaining 2 games,
Goal difference.
they would finish both on 20 points, and it would come down to the goal difference between
Yes,
the 2 sides.
absolutely.
If FIFA removes the points.
Yes, and it will depend now on who has scored more goals than the other. You know, in this instance, because when you look at head to head, South Africa is better than Benin. But
Okay.
head to head will not count in this instance.
TK, this is now where you have to say to Nigeria, please.
Oga, all my Ogas in Nigeria, the fight is forgotten. We are brothers. We are brothers. All my Ogas in Nigeria, please, Ogas, do us a favor. Beat Benin, my dear Ogas.
But
Beat
this also
Benin.
brings Nigeria back in the running. If not for the second position, because if they win their 2 games
Yeah.
and say Bafana don't win, Benin don't, it takes Nigeria to
No.
17 points.
They beat Benin. They beat Benin and then they go to 14 points.
Yes.
And then if South Africa wins, they go to 17. And then the last game, they win, they go to 20 points.
Yes, so that's what I'm
And
saying.
Nigeria
Give them
will
a
go to
chance
17.
they can even, if South Africa loses both, Benin lose, Nigeria can go to 17. If not, they can still go to second place.
Say
depending on other
impossible.
permits.
Say impossible.
So Nigeria's last game
So
in the group
Bafana has
is,
to win 2
Nigeria's
games.
last game in the group is against Benin. The game just
do
before
you?
that is against Lesotho.
Yes.
We can expect that against Lesotho they'll get the 3 points. It comes down to that last encounter. Nice thing is that they both have something to play for.
At least,
you know,
Thomas, also
they both have
Bafana,
something to play for in
They
that
do.
last game.
They
So
do.
that's the good thing.
Bafana, the good news today, the Zimbabwe game is no more in Botswana. It's going to be played in South Africa. They're busy by tomorrow. they will announce where it goes, either to Orlando or to Durban.
So Bafana's remaining 2 games.
That game is going to be played in South Africa.
The game against Rwanda as well as Zimbabwe will be
played in South Africa, yeah.
So then,
the venues will be confirmed.
You see, that's where I spoke about the 3 poisonous point. South Africa and Nigeria were fighting each other. We heard Ida here. He even wrongly accused President Motsepe of delaying tactics about
when the tournament is not a CAF tournament.
Exactly.
It's a FIFA tournament.
Exactly. Now, those poisonous 3 points, Nigeria did not benefit, South Africa did not benefit. Now, the dark horse,
Benin comes
benefited from it. You see, they were foolish. Instead of both thinking of winning that game.
Everyone was thinking of winning. No one went there looking for a draw.
No, they were busy with the 3 point in their mind. If they were focused, one was going to win that game.
Nigeria needed the win more than South Africa.
Even South Africa needed more.
Yes.
When you win, you have 5-10 point gap. You say what?
To confirm, yeah.
Of course. But instead of trying to win, everybody was thinking of 3 point. Okay. Now Benin is on top.
So now that you're willing to talk about what everybody's thinking and whatever you now know what's happening, right? You know the matches that are coming up. You know the situation in the group. Mamadou, who's going to the World Cup? Out of Group C. With 2 games to go, you've been in the game forever.
Let me tell you one thing. To be analyzing properly,
yes,
I will put my money on Benin. You know why? Wait. You have a football federation where the president is in court all the time, rejected by the majority of South Africa. You have a team manager that cannot read even his own notes. When a football federation is in dispute like that, everything is falling apart.
Everything you're saying is telling you, everything you're saying is disproved by the fact that Bafana were topping the group. No, wait. Bafana were topping the group and unbeaten in the last 16 games. And if you look at the under-20s, the under-17s, the women, everything, all the teams are doing well. Now it's disputed. Everything you're saying makes no sense.
This is part of football.
No, it can't suddenly be a problem now. How can it be a problem now?
Which captain gonna lead your troop?
These captains have been leading us through all the success.
Wait.
All the success has been under that leadership.
Wait, your captain is going always to court to answer fraud and all kind of things.
I'm just saying.
I mean,
guys, I asked
football needs.
Okay, your simple answer was you feel Benin are going to go to the World Cup
because of all these reasons.
Okay, that's your answer, Benin.
Yes.
Guys, who do you think is going to the World Cup out of Group C?
South Africa.
What are you basing that on?
I think South Africa will win their next 2 games. They have to. They have no option. And also, it depends. Now, these players will have 3 points deducted from them. It is now up to them to put their lives on the line, to make sure that they win these next 2 games. Because there's no margin for error. They cannot even afford to draw one of these games because they are out. They are not going to the World Cup. And this, for me, is a golden generation that has taken South Africa out of the doldrums. When was the last time South Africans managed to smile when Bafana were playing? This is the generation. And for the sake of Hugo Bruce, what Hugo Bruce has done for this country, and he also deserves to go to the World Cup.
Who's going to the World Cup?
Thomas, here, for me, definitely Hugo Bruce has done an exceptional job. The players, and majority of the players are playing in PSL. So Pirates, Sundowns have added so much. Not only them, you look at even Galaxy.
That's all nice. Who's going to the World Cup?
South Africa will go, but we are shooting ourselves in the foot.
Why is South Africa going?
Here I've got to agree with Mamadou. As much as Hugo Bruce and the players are doing the job on the field, we keep sabotaging them off the field. And that's where we have
yes, I mean the 3 points.
I mean the 3 points now is because of our mess up. We knew that. We are wrong and we've got to take accountability. And heads must roll for that. Simple.
Will they roll if we qualify for the World Cup?
Still, they must roll.
You guys say they're going to
They must
qualify,
still roll.
so then it doesn't matter.
Thomas, the problem is you can't have off the field. You have people without high performance experience at global level. We are talking about highest level.
A house divided will fall apart.
I'm leaving that.
SAFA is actually in a mess.
I'm leaving that right
Total
now.
mess.
Because we're talking World Cup, right?
Yes.
And Sports Bible, I'm sure you've encountered it online. It's one of the more famous publications that takes that many engage in globally. And they revealed a poll that they had come into that was speaking about the best World Cup that's ever been hosted, right? And this was interesting because I thought, well, maybe let's talk about that. Let's talk about what that poll said. And because it mentioned Africa, it mentioned South Africa, it mentioned that through the poll that was done with all those respondents, South Africa was voted as the best World Cup in history. I was like, wow, the greatest World Cup ever? Wow. I'm interested. There they are. And I was trying to work out what the criteria for that would be. How do you decide what the best World Cup in the history of World Cups is? Do you agree that the one in South Africa in 2010, when Philip was here, was the best World Cup in the history of World Cups?
As an Ivorian, as an African, I totally agree. Based on my own experience. I attended so many World Cup in different continents.
Yes.
But this one was so special. I could take my relative, my friends throughout the continent in South Africa to go and eat shisha.
The field. You look at trends, tactical trends that evolve out of that World Cup, and that is perceived to be the greatest ever team, both at club level and national team level. 1970 Brazil World Cup team. Mario Zagallo was the coach. He played 5 number 10s, your kind of players, playmakers.
Yeah.
He broke stereotypes where you said you can't have so many playmakers or creative players playing together. He did that in that team. So you look at the names there, Cezinho, Pele, Tostao, Revellino, Carlos Alberto. It was the best World Cup ever when you look at it on and off the field.
Don't make statements like
for me as a technician,
for you,
yes, as a technocrat, it has evolved the game to levels that you've never seen, and we still look at.
Were you off the field that side?
South Africa, for me, what I feel was a sore point is, has the game in South Africa benefited from the World Cup?
No, that's not about the World Cup itself. No.
The infrastructure doesn't belong to the clubs.
The actual World Cup.
Yes, it was a great
amazing.
World Cup.
Let me give you some numbers. I want to, because we're going to run out of time. I want to just talk about a little bit about some numbers here, just to give context, because Mamadou just liked traveling and enjoying his friends and family. He loves that, and that's always nice about a World Cup. But let's look at some numbers. So, if you look at numbers, maybe Brazil's World Cup 2014 or the USA 1994 would be, from a numbers perspective, the best World Cups we've ever seen. The USA 94, average attendance, almost 69,000 per game, because they've got those just enormous stadiums. The most goals at a World Cup was scored in Qatar. 172 goals were scored at the Qatar World Cup in 2022, which is one more than France in 98 and one more than in Brazil in 2014. Then the most goals per match was scored in the USA in 1994, 2.71 goals per match. And remember also, that World Cup in 94 only had 52 games. The rest of these World Cups had 64 games. So that's really impressive when you start to look at that as the South African World Cup had 69,600 average attendance, 145 goals, and 2.27 goals per match. So quite a bit down on the US, quite a bit down on what happened in Brazil. Brazil had 171 goals. And again, those memorable matches in Brazil. I mean, who'll ever forget 7-1? Who'll ever forget that, So when you look at those, it starts to, you think to yourself, okay, what? And I want to come back to this, TK. What did the voters like about the South African World Cup? Because it's not in the numbers. It's maybe where Mamadou is.
I think for me personally, I would like to believe that, first of all, there were fears painted about South Africa, that, you know, there are snakes crawling around the streets. We dodge lions when we go to work in South Africa. So the people were amazed when they came here to discover that basically, you know, we are almost close to a first world. You know, we introduced the vuvuzela, and then you basic. I think, and also the experience. I remember going to the Loftus Stadium.
Yes.
We parked our cars at Tuks University, and there was a bus right there. We got into a bus, left our cars, and, you know, our cars were guarded. And then we got into the bus, into the stadium. There was your seat. You sit onto your seat. At the end of the game, you walk out of the stadium, into the bus, straight to your car. One hour after I had been in the stadium, I was already in my house watching at the highlights of the game and all that. So those are some of the. And what about Chabalala's goal? I mean, it had to be a South African who opened the score in the World Cup, a World Cup in Africa that for me brings a lot of memories. You talked about Philip. You know, what about the vuvuzela? We introduced the vuvuzela to the world. And I remember, because I was covering the Free State, which means I covered the Bloemfontein games. Now, at one stage, the British drank out all the beer halls in Bloemfontein. All the bars were
more than the rugby guys.
More than the rugby guys.
Fun was had.
There was fun.
You know, the thing that's also interesting then is that I try to think now, like, of a theme song that I remember. You know?
Yes.
And maybe the only other one I remember is Nasum Dorma, 1990, you know, and then I was like, okay, the games are starting.
But 2010
but we waka waka.
Waka.
You know,
global.
waka waka.
Up to now, global.
Even now, you can name any other World Cup, one song was there, waka waka. And there you go. Okay, guys, I like it. So 2010, you guys are in agreement. 2010?
Definitely.
And yours, Tom? Come on.
The numbers are here. But I'm South African and I'm African. It was the first time that it ever happened on the African continent. It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
And as a football sports journalist, it was the greatest event. I'd been to Germany in 2006. Loved that. It was amazing. But to be there, when the goal went into the top corner, I was standing right next to that goal. And then for the next month, we have never seen a more unified, happier,
nation,
most incredible unity that South Africa brought to the world. We showed the world the best face of Africa. Those who thought Africa was the dark continent suddenly thought, this is the place we want to go because it's amazing. And we just rebranded Africa to the world. And I think for that reason alone, 2010, it was amazing. We're going to a quick break. This is Soccer Africa. It's just giving goosebumps already. I'm just remembering. Waka waka. Hey. After this. Welcome back. So let's have a quick conversation about something that's happening that's interesting with an African player that has had a rough time of things, and especially from the Man United fans across the African continent. Andre Onana, the Cameroonian international. If there's someone who has got stick, it's Andre Onana, especially from those who are Man United fans across the continent. Well, Andre Onana has come back straight away after his loan move to Turkey, and what's he doing?
Man of the match.
He put in a man of the match performance.
Don't lie.
8 saves in the game.
Don't lie.
Yep.
I mean, what I can't
First
understand.
match, debut in the Turkish Super League.
First match, yeah.
Man of the match.
For me, at Man United, he was made what do you call it in
scapegoat?
Islungu, sacrificial lamb.
Scapegoat. He just said you scapegoat.
To me, that is a quality goalkeeper. He just went at the wrong time to the wrong club. You can see Man United is in a mess. I'm sure by today or tomorrow the coach is sacked.
What I don't understand is that Harry Maguire is the most loved guy, even though he scores, a lot of goals into his own net.
I'm going to tell you guys though, I'm going to say to you two, he lost the game. You guys are making
he lost
but
it.
you put up a man of the match.
Lost the game to Fenerbahce by 1-0.
But if it hadn't been for him, the score could have been maybe 7-0.
Yeah. It should easily have been because there were 10 men on Trabzonspor. They were down to 10 men after 20 minutes in that match. They needed the wall Onana to keep the score respectable. 29 shots
Which
were
one?
fired,
Yes.
8 of them were saves.
Which
And then there's
one?
even a stat that they showed here that they said 4 diving saves. You know,
Which
not
one?
just saves.
And Thomas, you know,
diving.
Which one?
you know,
Yeah.
at halftime, Thomas, at halftime in the change room, you must see the video clip of his motivational speech. He was so inspirational, and he, motivated the whole change
I
room.
told you many times when Onana started.
No, he's a
at
quality
Man U,
keeper.
with his coach that brought him from Ajax.
Ten Hag.
I told you they will be fired together.
Ten Hag also got fired
I told you
in
they will be
Germany.
fired together. Eh?
Yeah, they just came at the wrong time. The
Now-
club is in a
Now,
turmoil.
don't tell me about Onana today.
But they made him a scapegoat.
No, now
Half of those players at
now he
United
got
should be
man
sacked.
of the match, but his team loses. That's Onana for you.
No, but
No,
for
but-
me,
but
for
it's still
me,
quality.
And Cameroon is not going to the World Cup
No, they
because of
couldn't
the
go.
same Onana.
What? That was an unbelievable goal. The Memento scored an unbelievable goal.
I say Cameroon,
They are on their way.
and you leave the top league in the world to go to a lower league in Turkey,
For more money.
and you say you are man
He's
of the
earning more
match.
money
For more
there.
money.
Hey, we are looking at football, not money alone.
There he
Today
is,
it's
man
now-
of the
today
match.
it's-
Hey,
football.
you win money, you win football,
Turkey
you
strong.
win
Okay,
with
very quickly,
Cameroon.
very quickly. Onana doing great.
Yeah.
We love the fact that he's doing the business there. Very, very quickly. The African Footballer of the Year. I don't see him. I don't see Ademola Lookman playing. But
Yeah.
they lost 4-0 the other night in the Champions League.
Thomas, remember-
I don't see him. Where is he?
he's in the pocket of Mbogas.
No,
He's
stop.
No. Thomas, remember, he's been trying to push a move away. He was supposed to go to
He wanted to go to Inter, but he is at.
And now, today, the president of the club has welcomed him back. And I'm sure he'll come back, start training. Maybe in January he'll move.
I've got a quote from the CEO of the Atalanta, Luca Percassi. He says, in order to play for Atalanta, you must be 100% focused. When he feels he is ready to do that, we are waiting for him with open arms. That's the message to Ademola Lookman from Atalanta, the African Footballer of the Year. We hope to see him back. I mean, last season, 20 goals, 6 assists for Atalanta. He has not been able to push the move through to Inter Milan. It's now time to see him back on the field. He played both games against South Africa and against Rwanda in the World Cup qualifiers, not playing for his club.
No wonder why Nigerian is not going anywhere. When a player misbehave like this,
Not misbehave. He wanted to leave. He wanted to leave.
When you don't kick the ball week in, week
Yeah,
out,
it's not match
you
fit.
are
It's not sharp,
misbehaving. You can chase the money at the end
not
of the
sharp.
day, you out. This is the reality now.
And
He would have
Atalanta
helped
missed it, yeah.
Nigeria beat South Africa
was
if
sharp.
he was fit.
Yeah.
He's misbehaving. Let
you
him
go.
continue.
There you go. That has been another
Salah is
Soccer
breaking
Africa.
records.
And I have to say goodbye. Otherwise, we could talk to you all night long. Thank you very much, Thier, Nabi, Mamadou Gay,